get this show on the road. The show that is the Sounds Obtuse Podcast. I am Chris. With me always is my co-host,
Dylan Carter.
How's it going, man?
It's going great, dude. It's glad to be back.
It is glad to be back.
It's been a nice little spell. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, some shit was going down, but we got it all together. I hope you guys enjoyed the double. Like
We got a double drop today.
Yeah, it's like when Nelly did. What did he do? He did Hot in Here and the others. It was a double album. You know who else did a double album? It was Outkast. It was Speaker Box and The Love Below. That's what that was. That's what today was.
I don't know what we're talking about, but all right.
The rap fans will get it. Nice double drops. Hope you guys enjoyed those. I think we should do the podcast with reverb. You know, hot take, possibly an unpopular opinion.
Can I just go on the record? And I'm also getting some feedback within the room here. May I just go on the record and say I had zero hand. Chris will back me up on this, I hope.
There's a reason I interjected.
I had zero hand in picking that. If you were gonna if there was anything you were gonna pick, I never in my life thought it was gonna be that. But
that's what makes it so good.
However, Chris and I are a dynamic duo. I think you're right, and I think that what it boils down to, and what is a successful relationship for us, is respecting each other's artistry and the things that we bring to this pod.
I do appreciate that.
So while it's not the thing I would have picked and think we could have done something different, I respect it.
You know, I can really just go back and Kanye that shit and add another clip.
Just like dubstep that shit real quick. I mean, that's all you gotta do. Just go in there and fucking just like
chop and screw it?
I'm talking about just fucking like make it into a song.
All right, see what we can do.
Whale song.
Yeah, a whale song and
whales wailing.
Yeah, it could be a remix to Rumor Has It.
It could be the companion, the part 2. Adele, hit us up.
Yeah, we're really eager
Holla
to do
at
that.
your boys.
So we had some great jobs this week. I asked how you been, but how have you been?
Man, I have been I don't know. It's cautious, sort of. Like the world seems a little different right now. Got some stuff going on, some faraway places.
Yeah,
seems like everything's just kind of piling on. I've also just sort of had like a rough week, but you know what? I'm back in the studio with my best friend, a couple of friends, and
yeah, I got a packed crowd in here today.
It is, and I'm just excited. So right now, I'm capping off. You know what?
You're capping?
I am no capping. Starting the uphill part of my week. I got a great day today. Tomorrow's gonna be a great day.
And that's on God?
Get to see you guys again. It is on God.
All
it's
right.
Gonna be, right now, my week is getting better. That's where I'm at.
That's fantastic. I can definitely say the same. Spent some time at C&J Farms today.
Shout out to the farm.
Filled some holes, that sort of stuff. Real Stanley Yelnats out there, you know. I guess in reverse because I wasn't digging them.
Man, that took me back. That's a great reference. That took me way back.
Yeah, man, I'm chock full of them. It's one time, you know, really got to put my hands in nature. Enjoy the sun. It's like 60 degrees. I'm outside there. Didn't even break a sweat. Big white fluffy dogs. Fantastic time.
Way to flex.
Also had 3 days off. Spent some solitude. Time in solitude. I'm sure you guys wish you could appreciate that. Pokemon Legends Arceus is pretty fun. We'll say and put some time into that.
Is that an official plug?
It is an official plug.
Okay.
It's the Pokemon game you've always wanted, like forever.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you're not just menu screen selecting shit. You're actually running around dodging the attacks yourself.
My God.
It's terrifying.
It's a brave new world.
You have like a Genghis Khan or whatever just chasing after you, like towering over you, and you're trying to run away.
Genghis Khan, by the way, one of the best named Pokemons, if I can just throw that out there.
Oh, he's pretty good. You know, we had a pretty eventful week last week.
We did. I think there was something about scooters.
Yeah.
And then something else about scooters. I think that's like all that happened.
I think we saw Scooters in concert, didn't we?
We did. We saw Scooters. Yeah, we went to D.C. to see the Scooters concert.
That's a great show. And then we rode Scooters
to the Scooters concert.
And from. And then we went to
the Scooter Memorial.
Yeah. The late night after the concert, we went to Surfside Scooters.
The best. They had the best Caribbean scooter stand. I mean, you can imagine.
Yeah, and I like the Mexican scooters drink because they actually use real sugar compared to here in the States. It's just not the same. You got to get that real cane sugar. So yeah, in addition to all the scootering we did whilst in D.C., when it was time to wrap things up, again, super sad, we drove away. And Dylan, do you remember what happened when we drove away? It's a shame we failed to mention this last week.
What happened when we drove? You mean like literally drove away? Like we pulled away? Because I just remember saying bye to my scooter.
Yeah,
there was
tough
actually
time.
a symbolic moment of us like saying goodbye to these inanimate objects. Is that what you mean, or do you mean later on when we were crossing a particular bridge?
We're in the car at this point.
Yeah.
We're miles from our scooters.
We did
still
not-
still scooter drivable distance though, probably.
It's gonna sound like utter bullshit that we're just mentioning it now.
And let me just say this because it is. Let me just say this. I'm not the one that said this first.
I saw it. He confirmed it.
Yeah.
We
I
saw
kept
it.
quiet because I know I'm the fucking crazy one that would be like, hey, isn't that? Tell me what we saw.
So we saw a unidentified aerial phenomena. Phenomena. There you go. Got it. Nailed it.
John Travolta, 1996.
Thank you. So we saw an aerial one of those, unidentified, by the way. So it came at us. I saw this light in the sky, and I thought it was this like hella bright star, right? And I noticed that like actually once like depth perception sort of like clicks, and you're like, wait, no, that's like hella close to me. Actually, it's not a star. And I said, Chris, is that a star? And
I said it's like, yeah, it's probably a plane.
And you said it's probably a plane, and I said no, it's like hella close. And then that thing went just to the right.
I would say like from like
our perspective, it went like to the right.
I would say like from like the left of the windshield to the right of the windshield.
Yeah, and I'm talking like up in the sky. It just seemed to cross the sky to the like a good distance to the right.
Just a straight, solid, steady
and then
line.
We saw it just zoop.
Yeah,
it was gone.
And that's the thing. I would say it either like zoomed so fast out of sight or it just disappeared.
Yeah,
it's hard to say what was what.
It either went warp speed or just disappeared.
Yeah, either one of those.
Either way.
And here's the thing, like I remember there was like one of those poles with the lights on it, and I was like, maybe it's just hidden by like, you know, the angle that we're at, the way we're driving, the perspective, you know. So I waited till we got past that, and I saw nothing.
There was nothing there. There was no lights going away.
Nothing there.
Like, oh, okay, maybe that was a plane and it passed us, and it, you know, there it is going away, nice and slow up in the sky. No, it was gone.
Yeah.
There was nothing in the sky. It's pitch black. There was one light in the sky. This thing, it was clear to see what it did. It did exactly what we just said.
That's wild.
Then even wilder than that is that we totally forgot about it because we were so excited about scooters.
Yeah. I mean,
yes.
you know, honestly though.
What else you got for us, Chris?
Well, I got a few news stories from the week. Just a couple things that, you know, sort of happened.
There has been some news.
There definitely
some
has been
stories
news.
probably bigger than others.
So we got I got to mention it because it's, you know, it comes out today. In fact, Batman. New Batman flick.
Oh, is that actually out today? That's
It's
the
out
Robert
today.
Pattinson one?
Yep. And Zoe Kravitz.
Oh, is she really in that?
Yep.
I did
She's
not know
Catwoman.
that. I did not know that.
Yep, she is
I love
Catwoman.
Zoe.
So far, we're sitting at 86% Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
That's like a B+.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty good.
It's pretty solid. And that's just like, you know,
That's
not
just like the
officially
critics and
the
stuff
first
too,
day.
right?
I hope that looks good. Also, in some other news, if you guys are familiar, I'm a huge Pokemon fan. If you didn't get that by now. They got a new generation coming out. They announced it. I want to show you guys the starters, and I want
So this
you
is like the Gen Z Pokemon?
Gen 9. So Gen 1 is one we all know and love. Charizard, Pikachu, Bulbasaur, all that stuff.
There's really been 9 different...
Mm-hmm.
Really?
In 25 years, there's
remember-
only been 9. So roughly every 3 years.
I remember a couple, and then they just got like weird. And
It
just
gets
seemed
weird.
like they're just making these up.
So they would go through to different different regions. You know, you have the most recent one was like you're in London. You know, there's like a T Pokemon, obviously.
MTG fans might say planes.
Yeah, you know, you have Alola, which is basically Hawaii. So this new one seems to be like Spain, based off the names. So we have green cat named Sprigato,
Okay.
a red crocodile named Fuecoco, and then a blue pompadour duck named Quaxley.
These all sound like fantastic dishes.
Oh, don't they?
It's like, hang on. And what would you like this evening at the Italian restaurant? Well, you know what? Could we actually get the spaghetto for a appetizer? Probably going to follow that up with a glass of the Fuecoco. And if we couldn't polish that off with a little bit of the Quaxley for dessert, I think that'd be a fantastic meal.
So who are you choosing of those three as your starter?
Okay, so based off of...
That's all you get. You don't know how the evolution's going to turn out?
I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to... The Pompadour duck is calling to me, but look at this little spaghetto.
Bro,
I mean,
if you're not fucking Team Green Cat, what the fuck are you doing?
What are you doing? You're not doing the damn thing right. That's what you're not fucking doing.
Yeah, that's the one
Spaghetto.
that instantly caught my heart. The other is just, again, Quaxley.
Isn't Gato cat?
It is.
Okay. So
And sprig is like, like sprig of a plant type.
Right. So it's like a plant cat.
Sprigato, plant cat. Green cat, yep.
Boy, they are getting lazy AF with those names.
Well, so here's the thing. It's like, does the third evolution, is it going to be on all fours, or is it going to be like a humanoid type thing? It's going to have tits? You never know.
Are pansexuals going to try to fuck it? Probably.
There's a lot of Pokemon you can fuck.
There are some very fuckable Pokemon.
Chansey dog?
Possible bonus question in the future?
Hey, man, stop stealing my moves. Another headline we got from today. This is just the headline. I feel like we can see all we need to see. This is from CNN. So, Serena Williams calls out the New York Times.
What did she say?
After paper erroneously prints photo of Venus. Racist.
See, come on. Like, you can do better than that.
Me or them?
No. I'm not referring to her. I'm referring to the New York Times. Like,
I know.
Like,
do your
you
due diligence.
Do better than that. Like, you're a journalism. What the fuck?
It's not a palette swap.
Now at the same time, like, I understand that, like, shit's crazy out there. You got stuff going on in faraway places. You're probably spread a little thin, but get these athletes right. I mean, these are American treasures. These are some of our best athletes that we have in this country.
Yeah, you can't be mixing up Serena with Venus.
Like most recognized tennis players ever. Couple of them.
Yeah, just because they look exactly the same, like, no excuse.
Christian, goddamn you.
No excuse.
When we get canceled, it'll be because of Christian. I want you to know I fought it the whole time.
I mean, I just want to criticize CNN.
The proof is documented.
I just want to criticize CNN, unless I cut this. I just want to criticize CNN for just being bigoted, essentially. So
CNN? You said that was the New York Times.
Oh, yeah, you're right. My bad. I'm sorry.
What the fuck are you talking about CNN for? You got to redact that.
Redacted. I'll fix it. Forget everything I said. Chris, post edit. Fuck the New York Times.
Wait. I just got so spun out. Hang on, right now. Are we talking to our future selves?
I'm talking to my past self.
This is off pod, I'm assuming. At this point in time, this is all cut
we'll
material?
see. Anyway, that's that's the news story. I did have one more thing. This is actually a Twitter post, I believe.
Oh, God. Not one of those.
It's the best kind of news, man.
I prefer
Next
Instagram.
to TikTok.
I prefer Instagram.
Okay, I take it back. It's a Twitter post on the Reddit, Cringetopia.
Cringetopia? Okay.
Yeah, r/Cringetopia.
Give it to me.
So he says, why? Here's the post from Emma Salisbury, or at SalsyBot on Twitter. It's all caps. Breaking, : every woman in your life now has at least a small crush on Volodymyr Zelensky, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
May I just add, and also me?
Okay, so this is the reply. This is from the Guillotine Implier.
Good name.
He says...
Probably a neckbeard.
Probably. He says, I am begging liberals to stop treating an actual war like a TV show with fun characters.
Yeah, except every war in fucking history has had fun characters.
So here's how I feel about the original post, though. It's the BuzzFeedification of war. I thought you'd like that.
I love that. That is the way that we digest war. That is how it's going to be. I don't even know, unfortunately. Real talk now.
You can probably hear me grimacing.
Hang on. Listen, let me just talk for freaking
Of course.
I don't want to go off of the rails, but I just want to say this. The way that we digest war now, or just news in general, but especially war as we are seeing it, we have so much information at our fingertips at any moment. I can go on Reddit and see videos right now of what is happening I can just Google different Ukrainian cities and go see videos of what's happening there right now. So the way that we digest war and news is totally different. So we have to just be okay with that. There isn't no going back to the point where we had to go to movie theaters to watch snippets and newsreels. You're not going to go back to that. So it is what we have. And honestly, I prefer the fact that we can have people on the ground, people who aren't able to fight but are able to shoot video, okay, and they're able to document what's happening. Those people are just as important right now. So I think that's just really the home front has blended in, because information war is part of the new warfare. Information war has always been there, but now it's preeminent. So the BuzzFeedification of news and war, yeah, sure, that might be true, but that's just what we have. And
it's getting to the masses, I guess you could say.
Think about if this technology existed during the Holocaust. The
memes, bro.
It either wouldn't have happened, or the reaction would have been a lot more immediate and a lot more visceral. Because it would have been right there. There would have been like awesome ass people going up in Poland being like, yo, look what we just found out in the woods. Y'all need to come and do shit about this. And then would have like floss stance on a TikTok video. And then boom, everyone knows about it.
Nice little L with the Fortnite dance.
And I'm not trying to like downplay it. I'm just saying like the BuzzFeedification of news, love it or hate it, it's where we're at. And I think that it's better than not knowing anything.
Yeah, what I want to know is like, what animal am I? 12 questions. That's all you need. You ever took a BuzzFeed quiz?
I guess not, because my level of confusion says I haven't.
Oh, yeah,
I
man.
figured they were news, I guess.
No.
BuzzFeed's not on my phone. Like, no offense, BuzzFeed, but you're
Dog.
I have 5 news apps on my phone, and you're not one of them.
No, I would not consider. I would consider TMZ news more than I would consider BuzzFeed news. BuzzFeed is like listicles and like bullshit glitter graphics. I'm not exaggerating.
I think TMZ is just like a dime store novel.
Dog, they be dropping the hot news though. Like,
I mean, sometimes they do. No,
Dog.
No cap on God.
For sure. When MJ Michael Jackson when he died, TMZ was on that shit, bro. Every other news source had to go through them. Any more news that you want to go through? Any more stories about the current crisis going on in certain parts of the world? You kind of touched on some.
I may have derailed myself a little bit with talking about news and how we talk about it now. But I would love just a moment to talk about some of the updates that have happened since we last talked about Ukrainian conflict. The main Russian advances appear to have sort of stalled out a little bit. You have this grand convoy that was supposed to be headed towards Kyiv. Kyiv. It has been stalled on the road to Kyiv. It appears that the only real Russian gains that are being made are happening in the south. Kherson has been taken by the Russians. Government offices occupied. So that does sort of leave the way open to the underbelly of Ukraine. They can now head west to Odessa or east to Mariupol, basically making a corridor from Russia to the Donbass, all the way over to the Crimea. We don't want that to happen, but it appears that most of the fighting is centered around protecting Kyiv and Kharkiv, so they kind of got to let some places go. You can't hold the entire front. We're just keeping our eyes on them, keeping our eyes on the Ukrainian people, because they're the inspiration that I need right now. And I see like videos of them having like Molotov cocktail making parties.
And sounds like a fun time.
I mean, yeah, it sounds pretty lit. The news right now is strangely optimistic. I am very open to this too. I kind of got to watch myself because I feel very optimistic for Ukraine for having watched the news. And at the end of the day, they're probably going to lose when it comes to it, at least in the conventional conflict. And they're going to have to resolve this with guerrilla war. So we have to brace ourselves for that. With all those odds facing them, the Ukrainian people stepping up and just really taking the charge and doing whatever they have to do, fighting in every way they can.
Yeah, they're getting pretty much anyone they can.
Whether you're helping distribute food, shouldering a rifle, or filming what the fuck is happening, like you're
give them
like,
some helmets, you know.
Every single Ukrainian is doing their part. It's something I would have never thought I would see. We've just got some war happening, and I think it's going to be. Most people thought this was going to be over immediately. But it's not, and now we just have to settle into the grind. But I digress. Christian, take it away.
All right, so this is one last bit of news, almost an addendum, if you will.
Ooh.
So it's funny enough, I mentioned that Bender was going to come back for Futurama, and then right after the episode was posted, right after the episode was posted, I was like, oh shit, he's actually not. So we put that in the next one, and now it's all fine. So
Bender is going to be on.
Yeah,
Futurama.
we're back at square one. Everything's fine.
So question.
I think it was all publicity.
I believe this confirmed. The show writers at the new Futurama definitely listen to the pod.
For sure.
So we're on to you.
They were on it right away. They said, hey guys, they just posted it.
Change it. Gotta get them views.
John Raji, we're a fan.
They want all 20 of our subscribers. All 20.
We can share. We'll share.
Maybe.
So speaking of corrections and addendums, we'll be tackling a whole bunch of those later on.
We will. We're going to be talking about stuff we got wrong.
Or things we just kind of need to elaborate on, maybe.
Yeah. Which, as Chris tells me, is substantial.
Well, as the episodes went on, I was finding less and less, so that gives me hope.
Perfect. So we kept getting better?
Maybe.
That's a good uptrend.
We'll find out.
Okay.
We'll find out. But first, we got to take an ad break. We'll be right back with a word from our sponsors.
This episode of Sounds Obtuse Podcast is brought to you by
Cyber Warrior Academy with Lewis. Greetings, fellow cyber warriors. My name is Lewis, a lifelong learner of dark web art and black hat magic. That is, hacking, of course. And I want to share it with you. Are you tired of being pushed around by the alpha males? Are you tired of their insidious insults? Freak, geek, dweeb? I was too. That is before I learned what power us feeble dweebs were capable of. The power to crumble firewalls, smite spam filters, and impregnate their antivirus. Before I became an online soldier, I was like you. But now I am wildly rich with 2 Lamborghinis in my garage, the spiciest of females under my arms, and world domination on my mind. Use code Carpe Diem for a preview of our premium package. The world can be yours, Cyber Warrior. Will you seize it? Cyber Warrior Academy with Lewis.
Cyber Warrior Academy with Lewis cannot guarantee world domination, wealth, or spicy females.
Thanks, Cyber Academy with Lewis. I'm really looking forward to. I don't think he said it, but I know it's gonna make me the alpha male.
I think the goal is I feel like he wants to fight all the alpha males.
Well, Lewis,
I feel like
bring it on.
I feel like he was probably wronged by some alpha
But please,
males.
thank you for supporting the podcast, of course.
Certainly. We love Lewis. Lewis does great work over there teaching people how to hack into stuff.
I got it. We double bill. You versus Chet Hanks, me versus Lewis.
I'm in.
Pay-per-view, baby.
I'll watch that fight.
Big bucks.
Fight. Lewis is scrappy, though.
Well, I might be scrappier. I'm
Could be.
Jewish after all. And Italian.
I think he might be ambiguously Jewish.
Well, that'll be a real Jew battle out there. Like Israel versus Jerusalem.
All right.
Yep. Thank you, Cyber Academy with Lewis for supporting the podcast.
We appreciate you. And we're back. Thank you, Cyber Warrior Academy with Lewis, for sponsoring the podcast. We really appreciate it.
Love those guys.
Love those guys. Really good work over there. We are back, and we have come up with some addendums, some things that we need to go back on. I think the last time we did this was episode 6.
It was episode 6.
It was episode 6.
And wouldn't you know it, I even have some about episode 6.
Did you? You did not waste a minute.
Nope.
So Chris has combed through the transcripts, waded through the F-bombs, and probably the uses of broad.
I
Shut up. I'm not even going to let you fight me on it.
if the transcripts are wrong, I didn't see any.
Okay. Well, they're all wrong because you said it numerous times. Either way, we've got some stuff we were wrong about, or maybe we just need to elaborate on a little bit.
Yeah, maybe reinforce it.
Once
that sort
again.
of stuff.
So without further ado, Christian, what did we do wrong?
All right, so episode 6, starting off strong. We said during that time Madden still sucked. Guess what?
Still does?
It still sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so it still sucks. Look forward to when Madden actually comes out. I think we might potentially even drop a old pod.
We should because
that was the thing, right?
The fabled before pod.
Yeah.
Not like there were several pre-pods, but there was only one before pod, which was the dry run, if you will.
And we're like, we got this. We got this by the ass, man.
We knew this was gonna be certified gold.
All right, so yeah, Madden still sucks,
and probably will next year.
So this is a correction that you actually did in real time, because I think I edited it out by accident. You referred to Glenn Youngkin in the Virginia White House. That's not what you meant.
Oh, it's not what I meant. No, the Virginia Governor's Mansion.
There you go.
Is what I would have meant to had said.
That was it.
It's officially disgraced, but that's fine.
So here's the one that I was really just like damn, that what a wild world we live in. Do you remember I was actually making the correction about Ken's Ranch donating to charity?
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, it's actually Newman's Own. Well, get this.
No way.
Turns out that Newman's Own is a contract manufacturer of Ken's dressing.
No way.
So we were right all along, basically.
Didn't even need to argue about it.
Nope. Didn't. Setting the record straight.
You know,
That's
it just
what we
makes
do
sense
here.
because they're both really good dressings.
It does.
Not that fucking craft.
Borderline interchangeable.
It's not that craft.
Yeah. Fuck craft.
Fuck craft.
Also in episode 6, we had, I believe the album you're talking about was the Jimmy Eat World album, Bleed American, or the self-titled Jimmy Eat World.
I doubt it because I have never heard of that.
Well, interesting fact nonetheless. So Jimmy Eat World, the album came out in July 24th, 2001, Bleed American.
Okay.
After 9/11, they were like, let's just name it Jimmy Eat World. And it stood that way until 2008 during the re-release when they renamed it Bleed American.
I don't know what came about to bring that up.
Emo. You were like that Jimmy Eat World album?
Bruh, I've never listened to Jimmy Eat World.
So, really?
No.
You were gushing about that in the emo
I
episode.
don't think I was.
But it had songs like Bleed American. It had The Middle,
Never heard it.
Sweetness, amongst others. Anyway.
Sounds like it probably cool.
All right. All right. So another correction.
Correction about the correction. I was not referring to a Jimmy Eat World album.
All right, you might have
I
been
don't know
mistaken.
who Jimmy Eat World is.
Scratch it. Take it out the podcast.
Why are you trying to eat my world, Jim? James.
So you'll notice also in episode 6, you could almost say it featured the first obtuse theory.
What was that?
When I said that the scene kids become hipsters.
They did.
I could elaborate on. I could have made that a whole thing, but
I'm there.
that's the nugget.
You still can.
Yeah. Also in episode 6, I would also still like to confirm, much like Madden Still Sucks, Alyssa's hugs are still the best.
They will always be the best.
I love
I
them.
will attest to that rest of my days.
So that's episode 6. Episode 7, we got, I had noted that evidence suggests that Dylan is probably Jewish.
Probably.
So he's got the truly hack. It's a real Jew move. You got the hat that I have, and put it on your head. Wears the curls.
100% Jewish.
Not to mention the voice, pitched up, uncanny.
It was quite interesting. I didn't know that about myself. Christian turned up the pitch of my voice
By like 0.07%.
to make me sound like a very sassy gay Jew, if I may say so.
It was great. Loved it.
I'm already half of that.
So yeah, evidence suggests. It's also episode 7, the first mention of the Russia-Ukraine whole thingy.
7?
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. Wait, what? What did
Really
we say
puts things-
about it in 7?
You were like, this is kind of might be happening. Like no one really knows for sure. It was the first mention of it. I was like, damn.
Was that New Year's?
Before.
I was there in the
It was
very
like
beginning.
it was like mid-December, dude.
I'm impressed with myself.
Yeah,
a
I
little
was
bit.
too. I was like, wow,
I
this
was
goes-
cutting edge.
Because like I said, 10 episodes later, we're still talking
And I
about it.
was honestly probably drunk.
Probably.
was-
Definitely.
I was still putting out better news than BuzzFeed.
So also in episode 7, it was indeed
Fight me, BuzzFeed.
It was indeed the autism episode. As you probably remember.
Episode 7 was the autism
Mhm.
episode. We talked about Ukraine episode.
Well, yeah,
7.
just a little bit of news in the beginning,
Just-
probably.
just
I don't
threw it in
know.
there.
Maybe it just came up at some point.
Threw it in there.
But one story I forgot to. I started to set up the story to this in episode 7, and then it got derailed by Thomas the Tank Engine.
As we all do.
Of course. So the story I was trying to tell was I had a friend who was autistic, and I didn't know this until like 6th grade when I was not in the same class as he was, you know. But a cool kid nonetheless. Loved the guy. Really great dude. Knew him in like all the way through, like I said, through 6th grade. At one point, we were super into Teletubbies, and we were super into Burger King. Burger King had Teletubby toys, little finger puppets, whatever. And he had one that I didn't have, and I had one that he didn't have, and it just ended. So I gave him mine, and he was like, "Bro, tomorrow I'm gonna bring you a new." And I was like, "Dog, thank you." And there's that little bit of it's like one of those first things, like, can you trust this person? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta kind of like feel them out.
Yeah, like you only know
Especially
them in
those,
school.
Like, super early friends.
Yeah, we're talking
so
like
it's
first grade, kindergarten, you know? And I gave it to him. I knew I could trust him. And then he gave it to me the next day. I was like, damn, son, like, I fucks with you. Really cool kid. Like I said, I didn't know he was autistic at the time. In hindsight, yeah, it makes sense. But again, really, really great guy. If I knew what he looked like today, he would look like, just imagine a first grader version of Joe from Impractical Jokers. That's Madison.
I just love that I can immediately see it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
also wanted to say, like, I think that like a lot of us had autistic friends growing up, and it was
Mhm.
never made a big deal,
No.
and it was only made a bigger deal until recently. So it's like that's sort of like a weird thing, especially for our generation. We talked in that pod about which I definitely want to revisit. Because again,
Oh, for sure.
Because again, I still want to talk to someone who has raised an autistic child. I think we all grew up with autistic friends, and then it was like high school where
To very different degrees.
and then it was like high school where that became like a thing. Like the spectrum became a thing for me. It became sort of like understood. You had classes on it, and then it became like this different thing. But up until that point, it was just like, yo, my friend's a little bit different. Really doesn't want his fruit cocktail touching his sandwich. And that's okay. He has that right.
Yeah, and for me, like the teachers, I think, because like I was, one of the smarter kids in class. I think the teachers thought I was smart enough to recognize that I was like pity friending these guys, but I had no fucking clue.
So your teachers were like putting that on you, like, whoa,
Yes.
whoa, I wouldn't fucking hang out with that kid. So
No,
obviously this guy.
I would have because I was. You know what I mean?
Right, but no, your teacher was like, well, I wouldn't. So why is this kid? He's obviously just
like I said, I was
pity-friending
like
this kid.
straight A's and stuff, and it's like the one kid in class who, and I don't know if anyone else thought he was, like not like up to the same grade level. Then I'm like, I didn't even think that. So like, am I? I was right there with him. I understood his language. I was picking up what he was putting down. He seemed like about as smart as I was. So maybe the grade said otherwise, but it's very misunderstood, and I think we definitely have to go in again at some point.
Yeah, we got to talk more about it because 45 minutes on it is just not enough time. It's just such a big topic. We can say that about several topics we do, but that's one that I think we can really revisit.
Oh yeah,
have some good conversations. I want to find someone who we can really talk to and pick their brain.
I can't wait to revisit scooters.
That too.
Last thing about episode 7. Did you ever figure out what pissed off that guy who posted that image of Linus that said "Go fuck yourself"?
I never did. He never responded like a little
right.
bitch. Like a little bitch. Honestly,
I was hoping for some sort of update.
If I had time to fact check it right now, I would get his name. I don't remember, but
it's like Earl Wonderson.
Apparently, it's back in episode 7. If you want to go look, someone leave it in the chat. We would appreciate you.
Just after your birthday.
Yeah, it was just after my birthday, and yeah, apparently we got this fella who was not happy with our pod, but all he wanted to say was "Go fuck yourself." His profile picture was Linus with a blanket. That's all we know. So go fuck yourself.
In my best
While
Robert,
we're at it.
in my best Robert Stack voice, if you know anything, call soundsobtuse.com.
Yeah, like we would love
call
to
that
hear,
number.
We love your feedback. Even still.
All right, episode 8. Man, it's really crazy cataloging weeks of our lives essentially.
It's
really
bizarre.
starting to.
It's like, oh man, that happened that week.
Yeah, so this is episode 8, Christmas episode. Fun little time. After reflecting a bit more, I am definitely safe to say, because I said this and I even questioned myself, the past 2 years have been hard on people.
They have?
They definitely have. Can't deny that now.
Is that what you wanted to correct?
Yeah.
What?
Because I was unsure.
Where did you say it wasn't hard?
At some point. It's pretty early on.
What the fuck?
Yeah, because I questioned
you spoiled fucking brat.
I questioned
it's been
it.
easy for you, I guess.
I questioned it, and then I was like, would you say that, Dylan? And you were like, yeah, I would. I was like, all right, cool.
We don't all have moms handing out Catcher in the Rye books.
What I want to say is, I want to confirm that yes, it was hard out here for a pimp.
Was your Catcher in the Rye book hardback?
Paperback. Trying to save trees out here.
Poor ass bitch.
I know, it's not even like Barnes & Noble Classics. It's like the Penguin edition. Like, what the fuck?
Ooh, Penguin. That fucking Scholastic Book Fair bullshit.
I know, give me a Clifford eraser and a fucking Captain Underpants bookmark.
That's
why
all
don't you?
we cared about, and a bullshit fucking computer game that won't work.
Speaking of bullshit fucking computer games that won't work, do you remember Home Alone on the Super Nintendo? If you don't, do you remember Home Alone, the VHS? If you don't remember that, do you remember the movie we watched this past year? Basically Home Alone with dogs while we wrapped gifts. What do you think about that film?
I hated it so much.
If you don't remember,
it was the dumbest thing I ever fucking saw.
It was called, again, not to be confused with Home Alone, starring Macaulay Culkin. This is called
Macaulay.
There you go.
Culkin.
Not to be confused with that. This is Alone for Christmas, starring a dog.
Yeah, dogs.
Yeah, dogs.
There's numerous dogs.
No.
Let's not get it twisted, please.
Yeah.
I don't want to get hit with slander.
I say if you thought the Wet Bandits were stupid,
maybe even the Sticky Bandits, maybe you didn't really care for that.
But these guys,
even worse. They want to hurt dogs, and we have dogs who know how to use cattle prods.
I'm gonna give it 5 out of 10 barks.
We have dogs without thumbs who can shock a man with a cattle prod.
And like drown a guy in a bathtub or shower. Excuse me, standing shower.
It's like
and rig explosives, by the way.
That movie is like if Air Bud met Final Destination.
I was gonna say Air Bud meets like Die Hard.
Yeah, it's very similar lines. Yes, I agree.
All right, so this part actually I need to grab this computer for. So there's this site on 4/29/21. So that's April 29th of last year at this point in the year of the Lord 2022. This is posted on FHHS Today. That's the student news site of Francis Howell High School, if you didn't know.
Come on, who didn't know?
Yeah, so this is from staff writer Cooper Trollich.
We see you, Coop.
So once I start reading, you'll immediately get what I'm going for. Because I proposed this question to you, and here's the answer.
Well, thank you, because I was honestly pretty concerned. I didn't have one. I didn't know the question, but I still didn't have an answer. So,
Well, here's the answer.
me being a sheep, just looked at you for one.
It all comes down to the magical hat that creates Frosty from a pile of snow. While the hat itself is essential to the survival of Frosty, it was not Frosty's to begin with. That hat belongs to magician and professor, both of them, magician and professor.
Together?
He's both.
He's a professor of magicianry?
I think just he's a magician and a professor. Now, based off the fact that they say magician first, I think that precedes professor, so he's like a professor on the side, but pro-magician. So, magician, Professor Hinkle, that's where you're at, right? And honestly, that was pretty much going to be the answer I wanted to write down, because I had to get that quote.
I honestly have no idea what you're talking about.
So I asked, do you think it's the hat, or is it like Frosty?
Oh, right.
Right? So,
Okay, so what did he say? Okay, now I'm with you. Thank you.
yes. So,
You didn't give me
again,
any of those details originally.
the hat, the hat is essential to the survival of Frosty. However, it's Professor/Magician Hinkle's. Right? So here's the article goes on. I highly recommend you guys read this one. It says, this creates a moral gray area surrounding the ownership of the hat. Though Hinkle owns the hat, removal of it would end Frosty's life, creating a conundrum of whether someone's life matters more than the sacred principle of ownership in a capitalist society.
Doesn't? What's your answer? What do you think?
He goes on.
Oh.
So when I brought this comparison to my peers, their reaction said quite a lot about political conversation. I started out with a simple Frosty conundrum, and almost every time people agreed that Frosty needed that hat more. And since his life depended on it, he should keep it. Their response changed when I introduced the comparison to the allocations of goods and services. All of a sudden, Frosty's a crook living off welfare checks. Suddenly, what is Frosty doing for the economy? Became a very relevant question.
They must have been in Texas where they don't fucking
Some
care
even
about
called him a
rights.
criminal, regardless of the fact that he did not steal Hinkle's magic hat. So all of a sudden they sympathized with Hinkle. So I guess it's still up in the air whose hat it is, or at least what it does.
Well, thank God
To
we
some
corrected
extent.
that.
Yeah, we'll
I'm glad people can finally get some fucking sleep at night, knowing that we answered the question
all right.
after a pod correction.
Yeah, I hope that clears things up.
Oh, it did. It
Good.
did.
So
Let's be real. No, it didn't.
you could say the mention.
The audience in the room says it did not.
Once you listen back to it, it'll make more sense. So another mention of Tim Burton, explaining
I'm
the
over it. I'm so over
explain
Tim
the
Burton.
Halloween to Christmas theory. Bam, obtuse theory. I've been sneaking them in all along, baby. Use the same advice for Hanukkah, for Christmas. Get your gifts early. Buy on sale.
I mean, that's buy your Hanukkah gifts on sale sounds superfluous.
All right, so at the end of the episode 8, you refer to the turtle in the room as Mitch McConnell. So that got me thinking. Did you see the zoom in of him at the State of the Union address? They got the best angle of him. I'm sure it's a GIF at some point.
I still have yet to read my my treatise about Mitch McConnell.
No, not yet.
And I would like to. I would really like that opportunity sometime.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
We could do that sometime very soon.
Look forward to
My treatise on herpetology.
episode 9. Drop your socks and load your Glocks.
That was a great intro.
What's it mean, though?
It means you need to pull your socks down.
And load your fucking guns.
Load your fucking
All right,
guns.
there you go.
I didn't know that was a problem. I thought we were all on the same page.
I told a New Year's story. No relationships ended up crippling. It was all hunky-dory afterwards. So we're all good there. Dylan, you got a gun yet?
I haven't.
No gun?
Still no gun. Or do I? People trying to break into my house. For those not trying to break into my house, I really don't. I'm working on it. Possibly separate issue, which, might be a good time to bring up now. Maybe I'm being crazy right now. But possible mental...
We were talking about UFOs earlier.
Well, possible mental health reasons for not owning a gun.
I get that.
I think that's something
That'll
that
be
would
more
actually...
episode 6, emo kids.
That's very good. I'm not even mad. Usually I'd say something like, shut up, Christian, or fuck off, Christian. But I'm not. That's a very good joke. That is an excellent joke.
You're welcome.
And I give it up to you. A couple claps for Christian there. No, but I think we should have a conversation about mental health and owning guns. I'm having that debate
and
myself.
protecting your meat.
I'm having that debate myself right now. Mental health versus gun ownership, because I kind of would like to take care of both.
Yeah, that's. I think you referred to something as a sticky wicket.
Bit of a sticky wicket, as the Englishman might say. So yeah, I think that's a future pod. I don't want to derail this right now.
Guns to the gunning.
You're on a bit of a roll, but I do think we should have a conversation about what kind of mental health questions should you ask yourself and answer.
Would you do it?
Buying a gun? I mean, okay. To get right to the point, yes, Christian, that is the question you should be asking. Part of the reason why I don't own a gun yet.
I don't think I could do it.
We're not going to turn this pod into that. So
nah, that's for another pod.
For another pod, guns and mental health. Let's talk about that. But
guns
for right now,
two.
no, I don't own a gun unless you're trying to break into my house. In which case, yes, I do own several guns.
You definitely owe a bow staff.
I actually do.
Yep. So it's okay. Don't feel too bad. You don't have a gun yet. I don't have any crypto yet. Really.
You don't need it.
Could have done something about that at the Super Bowl, I guess.
Scan that floating barcode.
So in addition to that, talking about goals and whatnot, this will be 17?
This is 17.
17?
We're recording live right now.
So if we do, 18, 19 by the end of this month, maybe 20 by the end of this month, we'll see. That's 9 months, averaging out 3.3 a month to get to 50 by the end of the year. No pressure, but I think we're making good pace.
I think we're really keeping a good pace.
I think so. Last thing I got to address. We made a bet in episode 9. Do you remember this?
So forget. What did
Do you remember this?
What did I probably lost my ass, given the way the whole Super Bowl prediction things went. I was wrong every fucking time. What do I owe you?
No,
Tell me what I owe you.
You were like, I think we made a bet that Russia was going to invade Ukraine. Like for reals.
Wait a minute. Did we actually make a bet on that?
I think
should have bet so much more.
So you originally you're like $5. I was like, nah, 4. I was trying to haggle you down. And then you're like, no, 5. And then I was like, I want 2. And you're like, come on, make it worth my while. I was like, it's like, we haggled a little bit. And then it ended up being $1. So I owe you $1. Let me get you some change here.
Yeah, no, I will not accept. I will not accept Jugeld.
All right.
I would prefer a solid greenback, please.
All right, I'll get you at some point then.
Do you not have that on you right now?
Can I cash app it to you?
Well, yes, you can.
Do you prefer Venmo?
You can. Well, shit. Now I guess we have to choose.
Dude,
listen.
Can we settle this right now? Can we like take a side? Because like this is like Xbox, PS4.
Okay. I'm willing to take a side this fucking moment.
Much like the Xbox is green, Cash App is green, baby.
It is. Venmo is just fucking weird.
It's pretentious, and that's coming from me.
Venmo is like going to a kid's house, but finding out that they're homeschooled, and you're like, oh, everything's weird.
That's
here.
why
You're
it's
like,
so cool.
You're like, hey, can I get a snack? And you get raisins, and you're like, what the fuck is happening here? Like their dog is always shaved. That's just a weird thing with homeschool people. Their dog is always shaved.
This is Rowdy.
This is Rowdy. He has a skin condition.
Because the dog was homeschooled as well.
He was, and he never learned how to bathe himself. Like their kids who smell like old socks. But, yeah, I digress.
So, I'm personally Team Cash App. Like, fuck
Team
the bullshit.
Cash App.
I don't need a social media site to fucking post that I gave
I
so-and-so
know,
some
it's so
fucking
weird.
so-and-so. I don't want to like it. I don't need to comment on a fucking transaction. I just want to make the fucking transaction, pay no fees for transferring that shit to my fucking bank. Venmo, just Cash App's where it's at, baby.
I think it's so funny where it's like all of my friends on Venmo will be like,
This is a fine line.
no, listen, this is
Clear line, I should say.
this is an actual piece from my Venmo. It'd be like one of my friends, $4.95 for coffee, and then it'd be like $7.28 for tacos, and then it'd be like $12.94 for that scarf you spotted me at TJ Maxx.
$20 for dogs.
And then my feed would say something like $490 for ganja for Christian. And it's just like, I don't
Allegedly.
need that out there. Allegedly. I don't need that out there. You're cramping my style, Venmo.
I'm putting that shit on private.
I'm just trying to sell some fucking weed.
I
I'm
know.
not trying to have it broadcasted.
Like, I don't need a fucking news feed of all my fucking
I know.
sales.
Next thing I know, I got my fucking weed revenues going up on CNN. I didn't put it there.
Like, whether it's fucking drugs, illegally or not, allegedly, I don't need people knowing how often I paid someone for Taco Bell.
Don't.
Like,
why is there a social media site for payment?
it's the worst part about fucking anything.
It doesn't
And it's
make
the worst
any
app to
sense.
have the worst fucking attachment to it.
What we're really saying here is, folks, Venmo, for one, go fuck yourself. Cash App,
No, go double fuck yourself.
double fucked. Cash App, you honestly got some work to do, though. Sometimes Cash App be fucking difficult.
The UI isn't the best.
It's not. It's not super user-friendly. So Cash App, while we are respecting you, if you could just maybe, work on that user interface.
Get better boost.
Get better boost. Change that shit up a little bit. Revamp it. You can make it a little bit better, but we respect you. Venmo can go die in a pit. They suck. So Cash App, reign supreme. Cash App power.
I have nothing but bad things to say about Venmo.
Nothing but bad things to say.
All right, episode 10. Moving on.
We're only at 10? What the fuck?
This is the last one. This is the last one.
Oh, okay.
This is the last one.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's going to be another one eventually. We
I
got to go
guess.
through
I
11
guess there will
to...
be.
We'll only do them at 5 because I feel like
Yeah,
5 is about all we can really take.
Give me some warning next time. I'll have some of my own instead of just give commentary.
Well, I think I cover the bases pretty well.
Okay.
I think so.
You always do a great job.
If you want to listen and make a little broad counter, I'm all for it.
Okay.
I'll make a fuck counter. We'll see who wins out.
All right.
I'd be impressed if I won that.
Carry on.
I'd be proud too. Maniac McGee. I actually ended up reading that book again. It's a kid's book, but it's a Newbery Award winner. It's fantastic. Dylan, I've said this to you in private. I want to say this to you in public. I want to let the record know.
Oh no.
And racism, bro.
Yeah.
We just fist bumped.
We
Fist
did.
bumped.
We fist bumped on that because we agree
We do agree.
in racism.
So one thing you said in that same episode, you referred to me as an uncultured.
This is starting to feel like a setup.
You refer to me as an uncultured egg.
I stand by that.
I don't dispute it.
Okay, so what are you talking about?
I do be looking like an egg.
Bro, you take off your hat, you look like a fucking egg.
I know.
I think we talked about that on the 30 podcast.
Possibly.
Shout out Chad Bell.
Shout out Glam Slams.
Glam Slams.
So yeah, I do be looking like an egg. I want to make that true. So that alleged UFO we saw, we were talking about reptilians. Do you think it was reptilians in there?
Bruh.
Do you think it was the Zorbagorbs
What I really think...
or the Bleep Zoops?
Okay, this is what I honestly think. When I sit down and I rack my brain about that UFO situation...
It's right over DC, too.
Listen. Let me complete a thought. Give me that.
It's taking a while.
When I sit down and think
I
about...
love you.
When I sit down and think about seeing the UFO crossing the Potomac River Bridge from Maryland to Virginia, the Old Dominion, where we're from, this is what I think about. Why are there not more hubs for scooters?
Yeah, if we could have just took scooters across the bridge, we might not even seen that
We
UFO.
wouldn't even seen it. Wouldn't be a thing in our mind. Why do we limit them to cities?
Can we get like ones with like
Long distance scooters, perhaps.
Yeah, tandem scooters.
Transit scooters. HOV scooters, as Kristen just implied.
Yeah.
You got a scooter that can take 4 people? A little scoot bus.
Yeah, you
A
can.
little omnis scoot bus.
A scoot pool.
The quicker people scooter upper, I think is what people call it.
I like it.
You could take that and you could transit people.
I imagine
that way.
it being something like and you'd find like a Dr. Seuss book.
Like Walt Disney's beating his fucking white supremacist dick. Like, yeah, people moving. I love it.
Is that the?
He
Is
was
that
all
the?
about that thing.
Is that the Beastie Boys remix?
It's all stuff like
People move in. People move in.
Oh, we're going off the rails here, folks.
All right. So last thing, I think I want to mention episode 10. You know, it doesn't even matter because like I wanted time to think about this one, and I might come back to it because I couldn't fully grasp what I wanted to say. And maybe you can elaborate, and maybe it'll set something off on me. But
Okay.
is when you asked the bonus question. Speaking of bonus questions,
Speaking of
you asked
possible foreshadowing, allegedly 100 emoji.
Dab. You asked, what I think is like, what kind of customer do we hate the most?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
I told you which one I hate the most.
I do hate the ones that just look nasty, that are just unpleasant to the eye, just goblin troll-esque creatures.
I don't even hate that much. I'm not gonna lie. I don't. Maybe I'm going through a bit of a renaissance.
That's what I felt like, and I feel like it changes every day.
If I could put it in like the most pretentious way.
Please.
Like, I feel like I'm going through this like renaissance in my thinking where I want to stop judging people like just immediately. And that's going to never happen. Like, mind you, I'm going to judge every person that I ever meet immediately. However, you know what I want to stop doing? I want to stop basing all of my beliefs on that person off of that immediate assumption. That's what I can stop. And
I feel like I can see their
feel like
auras, and I just know, like, deep down.
you see a fucking red or blue person, you're like, all right, they're probably pretty good. You see a pink person, you're like, no.
It's more like
no.
It's more like you know, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but like The Sims, when you'll see them outside waiting at the counter, they'll have like a little chicken icon above their head, and like, oh, this motherfucker wants chicken.
Motherfucker wants some chicken.
Yeah.
Those
And
are,
if it starts getting red, he's getting pissed.
those are called whims.
Yeah.
Little icons.
No. Oh, is that what they are?
Mhm.
Nice. I like those.
Big Sims fan. I don't really like talk about it, but I am. I am a big Sims fan.
I do enjoy The Sims.
You get to like, especially like once you get all the DLCs, you get to actually live your fantasy life.
I think the hard part about that question though is that like I don't want to hate anybody, you know?
I get
So I'm
you.
like trying to find some things that I just like do not enjoy.
Do you not want to hate people?
No, I don't want to hate anybody.
I find the problem being that I do want to hate people, and I have to fight against it.
Really?
Yes.
My problem is I think it's like really fun to just roast people in my head, but I don't actually mean it.
Like, I'm an American.
But I do it too much, and you kind of start believing it. You know?
In a very microcosm form here. I'm an American who believes in
You're a
different.
patriot.
I'm sure. Yes, I am. I'm an American patriot who believes in the right to have differing opinions. At the same time, if you come into my food line with a fucking MAGA hat on, I immediately disregard everything you say. I don't really give
What
a
if
fuck
like he
what you
turns it around
say.
like Ash Ketchum on the back? It just says JK.
You know, maybe that guy. If he
pretty-
ever,
it's
if he
pretty
ever
bold
comes to
move.
food line, but it's like, at the same time, I've met so many people that are just fucking moronic and are just brainwashed, and so my opinion of people in MAGA hats is skewed, which is the way that opinions always
Moronic
become.
and brainwashed.
Both. I try not to judge people, but so much of today is people representing the thing that they want to portray. And what a lot of people want to portray is conflict, and I can't fucking stand that. So not to get
I get
derailed,
it.
but I'm just pointing that out. Like,
All
I
right.
don't want to hate people immediately when I see them.
I don't either. I
But
don't want to hate anybody.
I
Anytime.
feel like so many people want to be hated. I feel like
I know. You almost feel like
Don't-
you owe it to them.
But the whole rights ideology of we need to own the libs is like not a political ideology. It's how you win Facebook argument. Can we just start trying to
Facebookification of politics.
Yes, Christian. Once again, you take
Tho-
my idea
Those
and
and
make yourself
BuzzFeed are
sound
just
smart.
they're just so intertwined. I was almost gonna mention that earlier, but I was like, I had to mention it now. They're like the fucking DNA helix of
You
fucking
nailed
modern
it.
society.
You 100% nailed it. That is exactly what it is. And it makes me sad. And I'm trying to wean myself off of that. Because I do. I see someone in a MAGA hat, and my first idea, my first thought is nothing
He's
this
a cool
person
guy.
says is going to be important. They've co-signed to a cult. I don't really care what they say. However,
Cults aren't so bad.
I'm trying to not be like that.
You know, I gotta agree, man. It is hard. Speaking of hard, we gotta take an ad break.
Let's go.
The motherfuckers paying these bills is
Bonar, the Bonar sonar. This is Bonar, the only sonar system to detect boners anywhere within a 5 to 15 mile radius. Our revolutionary new technology uses military-grade radiotic frequencies to detect imminent penile around your set parameters. No more will you have to sit at a bus stop and ask, does this guy or girl have a boner? No matter where you are, boners all around will be detected the moment hot red-blooded American blood enters the shaft. And you'll receive an Amber Alert-esque push notification straight to your phone day and night. With Bonar, never miss another boner again. Use code HARD at checkout to save $5 off your first purchase.
And we just want to thank Bonar. I mean, is Bonar radar?
it's just Bonar, the boner sonar.
Bonar, the boner sonar.
Yeah.
My God. I mean, they've got a great product. I just, if I can honestly say one really nice thing about them, not sarcastically, we really like to joke around on the pod. I'm not kidding right now. The fact that they say that women and men can have boners, hashtag diversity right there.
Indeed.
I love to hear it. I love to see it.
It's Women's History Month, you know?
I just think it's great. I think it's great that we're having some acceptance in this world. So thank you, Bonar, the boner sonar, for those kind words and that great product.
Thanks for everything you do for the show to keep us going on this
We
train.
appreciate the monies. Keep giving Daddy
The
the
monies. And we're back. We got the segment to end all segments here. My personal favorite.
One of the OGs of this pod.
The OG, in fact.
It really is. This is actually what our do you
Pre-pods.
Yeah, like the very first pre-pod.
We were just
was
like, hey man,
just
let's just
bonus
ask
questions.
some questions.
Let's just interview each other and just.
I thought
get a
about
feel
putting one
for
of
it.
those up there.
See,
I thought about it.
that's what I was kind of thinking.
Like I said, I can Kanye West that shit. Or we just tease it and put it on another episode later.
I mean,
Maybe charge for it?
let's not charge the
No, we're just playing, y'all.
Let's give it to him the first time.
All right.
But so my bonus question to you is now I really just want to know, just be honest.
Okay.
Because some people are going to want to kind of mold this question a certain way. What animal would you ride into war?
You know, my heart says like tiger.
Pretty good answer.
A big cat
To-
of sorts.
To quote Family Feud, good answer.
It's up there, Steve. But my head says elephant.
Elephant?
Mm-hmm.
That's been done though.
Oh, a new one?
No, not recently, but like the Romans defeated elephants with trumpets, so maybe a little history lesson and you might revise.
I mean, this is like modern day elephants, though.
They're not that much different.
Mastodon. Saber-toothed tiger.
I don't even know what you're saying anymore.
Power Rangers, basically.
Got you.
Yeah, saber-toothed tiger. Let's go with that.
Okay.
I'll ride a saber-toothed tiger.
That's a pretty good answer.
Fuse with the mastodon.
May I tell you mine?
Mm-hmm.
A moose.
A moose. Those fuckers are huge, bro.
Bruh, moose are so big
If
that
you can
like,
control it, ooh.
you can't though. That's the thing about moose cavalry. So I don't know if anyone knows this. This is actually the reason for me bringing this up, just so I can gush about this. Back in the 1700s, the Swedish Empire basically had a pilot program for moose cavalry.
Moose cavalry. Love it.
Moose cavalry? Now, they found out very, very fast that the thing about moose is they don't really give a fuck what you want to do,
Like cats.
nor do they have to on account of them being a fucking moose, which are massive.
Yeah, aren't they like
They're
14
tanks-
feet tall and
yeah.
like their antlers are like fucking 6 feet, 7 feet on each side?
They are absolute lads.
1,300 pounds.
They're
something like
so
that.
big. Riding one into war just seems terrifying, but it never got underway. I'm sad about that. But if I could have any pick of the animal kingdom to ride into war, fuck a horse, give me a moose. I'm riding a moose into war. I'm going to take a page out of the Swedish military handbook.
Fuck those horses.
Fuck them horses. Random moose.
Was that Mr. Hands? The guy that got fucked by a horse and died, or something like that?
Something like that. Happens to us all.
All right. So I think we got some different questions. Saber-tooth tiger, though. Pretty good one.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
I like that.
So my bonus question, Dylan Carter, you ready for this?
Please.
What would you like to see out of the internet?
I'm thinking.
I get it. I can give you mine if you'd like.
No, because I would actually like to take the floor.
That's fine.
I would like to see.
So I don't ask a question I don't have an answer to.
I would like to see community. As a socialist, I believe that.
That's a Nazi, right?
No. I believe that the internet provides an opportunity for us to all come together, just sort of set aside our differences and find a path forward. I think that it has become used as a way to discriminate against each other, as a way to find ways that we are different. And I disagree with that.
Unfortunately, those things are just easier to come across, I think.
Yes.
Easier to formulate.
They're the more obvious answers.
Yeah.
If you said...
That's a great way of putting it.
If you said, what are the similarities or differences between you and another person?
Well, they ain't me.
That's basically it. And that makes me sad. I think that we have a lot more in common than we do different.
Oh, yeah.
And I think
for sure.
I think that most people, even the most foreign person you can think of, probably has the same.
Y'all still shit. Y'all still sleep. Y'all still eat. Y'all still drink.
Not even that. It's still it's like the same hopes, the same desires, the same wants, the same dreams. You're still wanting the same stuff. It's just someone who speaks a different language than you. That's it. So I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Okay. Is that like via social media, maybe online gaming?
I feel like
that?
all of it. I feel like
all of it?
Any place
Community?
where you have social interaction online, be it games, be it just like social
Zoom.
media. Zoom got the Zoom going now. I feel
Xbox Live. Even though that can be toxic.
I feel like all of it can be a place for constructiveness, but it's not.
Okay.
What do you think?
It's a great answer. So, what do I want to see out of the internet? I once asked this question to the internet and got various answers spanning the board. But the one that I kept coming back to, that I remember I got my silver Sharpie and circled around it, this is it. This is the one. This is probably close to a decade ago I asked this question. And I'm sure the times have changed, but I think this answer still holds true. What do I want to see on the internet? More plugs.
Yeah.
More drug accessibility. Can I like Amazon Prime, like, you know, some weed?
That's a good idea. I have actually heard through the grapevine that you have one of the best plugs in Gloucester County. But
it might be true, allegedly.
That's allegedly. But yeah, I think that sort of community could possibly...
You know, I was going to say, I think mine kind of goes hand in hand with yours. Whether, like, the chicken or the egg.
What comes first?
Mm-hmm.
That's God's decision.
It is. But I think I would like to see more plugs via community on the internet.
I'm with you. I think it would make the world easier.
I think so.
But Virginia could possibly be having its first couple stores soon. So
yeah,
we have a brave new world. That is until Baby Trump cancels all that.
Yeah, I mean, some people can't go to the store, you know.
I'm waiting on Baby Trump to say no more marijuana so we can all vote his ass out.
I want like a back page, but for drugs.
Yeah, like a Craigslist for drugs.
Yeah, back page, Craigslist. Yeah.
Oh, I thought back page was like a term.
Back page is specifically hookers, I believe.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it can be hookers that sell drugs. Kill two birds with one stone.
I might know a couple friends on there.
Ooh, give my number.
It's possible. I will.
Anything else you want to add to this wonderful episode? I think that's a great episode. Covered some bonus episodes. Got a lot of things cleared.
We covered some good stuff. We got some questions answered. Some highlights brought back. I don't have anything to add, honestly.
I don't either.
I gotta be honest.
I'm looking forward to the next one, though.
Stay tuned for the Sounds Obtuse field trip.
Oh, yeah.
When we possibly take a trip to DC and record live about our experience with our favorite thing in the world.
We should ask everybody on a scooter what they think about scooters.
We should interview as many scooters as we can.
Just spin them down, if you will. If they're on a line, we can get badges and we could be spin patrol.
Spin patrol.
And then we could just like stop people, like stop. You got to get off this line. Like, you know, we're trying to protect them.
Why are you riding a line right now, though? For real.
Yep.
That's how we're gonna do it.
I like that idea.
I'm with you. We're gonna
Look
come
forward
up
to
with
me and
some plans.
Dylan
Look forward to that.
being spin police,
Spin police.
saving the world from shitty scooters.
It's gonna be a grand time.
All that and more on future episodes of Sound Obtuse Podcast. With that said, peace and love, humans and aliens.
Peace and love, everybody. All right, let's get serious. Can we get it together? No, it's not serious. It's not serious at all.